All right, Alexander, we have got more news on Epstein and what's going on there. And let me just get straight to some titles, Alexander, from some publications, and you can comment. From the Jerusalem Post, sealed depositions involving Jeffrey Epstein named Ehud Barak as offender. The sealed depositions were obtained by the outspoken Harvard professor in connection to a separate 2019 civil defamation lawsuit filed by the same plaintiff, Virginia Giuffre. From Israel PM Dershowitz, Ehud Barak, named in court documents by Jeffrey Epstein accuser. Virginia Giuffre's accusation, details of which had been sealed by a court, became known this week after attorney Alan Dershowitz issued a new filing refuting her claims. Barak, I don't, quote, comment on imaginary rumors or false affidavits, end quote. And from the Middle East Monitor, Epstein forced women to have sex with ex-Israel PM Barak, claims victim. Wow, what a title there. Alexander, this is, okay, so Dershowitz is throwing Barak under the bus. Barak is saying, I don't comment on imaginary stuff, and I'm sure he's going to try to throw Dershowitz under the bus. This is to be expected, I would imagine, isn't it?
Well, it's becoming extremely ugly. I mean, first of all, I'm very concerned that sealed depositions are being published in this way. I mean, admittedly, they were published, as I understand it, as part of a civil suit for defamation, which Dershowitz and Giuffre are fighting out between each other. But there are usually, at least in the United Kingdom, there are rules, even in the event that you publish things in civil cases, there are rules whereby, you can keep information like this confidential so that only the court sees it. Now we have it all over the place. As you said, the Israeli media are running with it. The Israeli media is widely read. It's available on the internet, not difficult to see. Ehud Barak is now obviously being identified in this way as a potential person. I mean, let's make it absolutely clear, by the way, that at the moment these are allegations. We're not rushing to any conclusions about what Ehud Barak may or may not have done, or even what Alan Dershowitz may or may not have done. But what is extraordinary is that Barak's name has now been brought into the public notice, not by Giuffre, but by Dershowitz, through these court filings. And I have to say, I find that very strange. And I don't really understand why Dershowitz has done this. I mean, in terms of the civil claim, I mean, he's saying that she's made allegations about him. But why does he want to discredit her by publicizing other allegations that she's making against other people, including a very, a former prime minister of Israel, a military officer, a general, as I said, of the Israeli army, somebody with a very, well-known combat reputation. Why bring him in this fashion? It doesn't make any kind of sense to me, and I'm amazed that Dershowitz and his lawyer have done this. I'm amazed that the court let it happen. And I do wonder again about why this is going on. It seems extraordinary to me and really rather concerning. And I have to wonder whether all these events that we see taking place, the fact that the US authorities now want to interview Prince Andrew and have been talking about bringing him over to the United States to having him interviewed there, the fact that they now seem to be closing in on Ghislaine Maxwell, and can I just say that apparently is the correct way to pronounce the name. It's a soft G, and you don't pronounce the S. So Ghislaine Maxwell. But whether all these three things, the Dershowitz filing, the interviewing of Prince Andrew, the closing in on Ghislaine Maxwell, whether these are all connected and whether something is going on in a big way, and whether perhaps Dershowitz, by trying to involve a prime minister, an Israeli prime minister, in all of this is perhaps trying to gain leverage in this investigation in some kind of way, because that's the only way I can understand it, because it doesn't really make any kind of sense to me.
Yeah, I agree. Dershowitz is making moves, and I think it's no coincidence the timing of those moves. Let me read something from the Middle East Monitor, a couple of paragraphs. Maybe they'll shed some light as to why Dershowitz is doing what he's doing. In the latest twist, U.S. lawyer Alan Dershowitz, who was accused by Virginia Roberts Giuffre, one of Epstein's victims, of being trafficked to the 81-year-old, obtained documents naming Barak along with a number of important men, of being part of Epstein's sex scheme. The documents are part of an ongoing case between Giuffre and Dershowitz. Giuffre last year sued Dershowitz for defamation, only to be countersued in response. The celebrity attorney and one of the most powerful pro-Israeli voices in the U.S. strongly rejects the claims made by the 36-year-old and is trying to clear his name, in what appears to be an attempt to discredit Giuffre by exposing the long list of accusations made by her against prominent figures, plural figures. Dershowitz's attorney, Howard Cooper, said in court that the team had in fact already obtained some of the depositions and that Dershowitz identified Barak as one of a number of people accused of sex crimes. Alexander, this is a list. I would like to see the names on that list.
So would many people. Now, can I just say, as a tactic, as a legal tactic, trying to discredit Giuffre by publicizing a list of prominent people, to me, it looks extremely dangerous, and I could see how it could backfire. Bear in mind that it is not disputed by the US authorities, by the Justice Department, that Epstein was involved in terrible crimes and that he did have an active ring, and that this ring involved lots of people. So, the fact that Giuffre has made allegations against a lot of people, including a lot of prominent people, given what the Justice Department is already saying about the case, doesn't seem to me to suggest a clever tactic, because it simply highlights the fact that lots of important people are involved. I wonder, now I'm speculating, I want to stress always, when I'm speculating, I am speculating. I wonder whether the purpose here is not so much to discredit Giuffre as I said, to try and gain leverage by making it clear how many other people are involved. And that puts pressure, perhaps, on the court. It's a tactic. And not, by the way, a completely inappropriate tactic or even an inappropriate tactic. But, to say to a judge who's dealing with this civil case, well, my goodness, am I going to really want to go down the route of giving credence to what Giuffre is saying when that might get me in problems with all of these other people? That seems to me to be more the kind of tactic that this is about. But as I said, it is a dangerous tactic because, of course, it could produce all these people's names could come out into the open. And of course, it's quite easy to see how they might be very angry with Dershowitz for doing that to them. So, I mean, I this is a dangerous game that's being played here, and I would be very wary of it. Given that Giuffre up to now has come across as a credible witness, and the Justice Department accepts that the substance of the allegations against Epstein are true.
Very dangerous game that Dershowitz is playing. I think you're exactly right. I think he's giving up probably the lowest ring on the ladder. And I don't want to say that Ehud Barak is the lowest, but given names like Clinton and Gates and other names that are Prince Andrew and other names that are probably on that list, maybe Ehud Barak is towards the bottom. So he's probably saying, let me throw this guy under the bus so I can, get the attention of these real big names, Clinton, Gates, Prince Andrew, and God knows who else is on that list. So I think this is a very dangerous game, but it's also very shrewd on Dershowitz's part. There's no doubt about it.
He's an extremely clever man. I mean, and he's a brilliant lawyer. I mean, I've made it very clear. I mean, that on so many issues, I don't agree with him at all. And I'm sure that he and I would not merely not agree with each other. I mean, I'm sure we wouldn't be the kind of people who would be friendly in any conceivable way. We want to shake hands, let me put it like that. But I will not deny his brilliance as a lawyer. I think this is an incredibly dangerous game. And in fact, given how dangerous it is, I'm going to say something. I mean, I wonder why he feels he has to play such a dangerous game. I'm not going to say more than that, by the way, because there are legal issues involved. But I mean, it makes me wonder whether, in fact, this defamation case is a straightforwardly in Dershowitz's favor, perhaps, as one might, as when one brings a defamation case, one would want it to be, because this is a very, very risky tactic to use in a case of this kind. And as I say, I predict all those people on that list. And, you mentioned some names. I don't know for a fact that any of those names are on that list, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you're right. I am pretty sure you're right that the fact that Ehud Barak is on that list is a taster to tell us that, people of similar prominence are on it, and some of them of much greater prominence in American terms than Ehud Barak is. I'm sure you're right about that, by the way. And remember, we've also got these swirling allegations around Prince Andrew. So given that that is so, it seems to me that's a hugely risky tactic. The fact that such a clever man as Dershowitz is playing such a dangerous game, it seems to me suggests that there may be, shall we say, difficulties with his legal case, which I had not anticipated.
Yeah, and the timing is key because, like you said, we had the story about Ghislaine Maxwell. We have the news about Barr and what he's up to with the Epstein case, and we also have like stuff like Netflix's documentary on Epstein, which a lot of people say, okay, they have a documentary, let's see how accurate it is or whatever. I look at documentaries like that from a company like Netflix, where I believe Chelsea Clinton is on the board of Netflix, as is Susan Rice. And I think that Netflix is doing this on purpose to try and get ahead of the story and water the story down a little bit, massage it down a little bit before big news does break. So the timing is very interesting here.
It's very interesting. It's extremely interesting. And as I said, this whole thing is very interesting indeed. As a legal maneuver, it's very high risk. I'm not sure I entirely understand it, frankly. I mean, it seems to me a very risky legal maneuver to take. I'm guessing, by the way, that the Justice Department is absolutely furious that this name has been published in that way, and that this deposition, this sealed deposition, is basically been exposed. And as I said, that all sorts of other people are going to be sweating and very worried and very angry with Dershowitz also. But I also asked myself the question: why did the court allow it? I mean, in England, I doubt it would do. Actually, it can always. I mean, it may be that the rules are different in the United States, but I think in England there would be reporting restrictions. I mean, I'm not suggesting in any way that this would be illegal for Dershowitz to provide this kind of information to the court, but for it to be made public in this way so that it's all over the Israeli newspapers seems most extraordinary to me.
Well, something's coming. That's my hunch.
Obviously,
something's coming.
Obviously, clearly, something big is coming. And can I say something about this? I'm relieved about that, because for so many months it had looked as if the Epstein scandal, which to be clear is an enormous scandal, had been, kicked, as we say in England, it'd been kicked into the long grass. In other words, they hadn't bothered to investigate it anymore. It looked as if nothing very much was going on. But it now appears that things are indeed happening. And given the scale of the crimes which were committed and the large number of victims involved, and the age of those victims, and the fact that those victims must be traumatized for all their lives, then I think that is entirely good news. And let's get to the bottom of this and find out what happened and let justice be done. And if a number of people, prominent people, are exposed, well, so much the better. It's a sign that there is justice in the United States and in the world.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. This is either going to be a massive, massive bomb that's going to drop, or it's going to be a massive cover-up. But something is coming. Something is coming.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
All right, Alexander Mercouris, Editor-in-Chief of the Duran. Thank you very much. Guys, click on that subscribe button. Smash that like. Drop us a comment down below. Let us know what you think is going to be happening in the Epstein case. We'd like to hear from you. And also look for this video on iTunes and on Soundcloud in audio format. Please donate to us on PayPal, Patreon, and Subscribe Star. Your donation really helps out this channel a lot. Check out the Duran shop where we have all kinds of great merchandise, really nice merchandise that we're rolling out every day. And Alexander, do you have the Patriot Beacon there?
How could I not have?
All right.
How could I not have my Patriot Beacon?
All right. Okay. Duran 20% discount when you go to the Patriotic Legacy website. They ship internationally, and they are running a contest. The giveaway is a Patriot Beacon 3. They're also giving away tactical pens, monkey fist balls, all kinds of great prizes. So go to the Patriotic Legacy website in the description box down below. Make sure to put the code Duran20 when you make your purchase. Alexander.
Yes. So this is the Patriot Beacon made by our friends at Patriotic Legacy in the United States. It's made in the United States and it ships internationally, by the way. So wherever you are in the world, you can participate in this competition. And you should, because this is the best torch, as I would call it, British English, or flashlight, as Alex calls it, American English, in the world. Alex has referred to it as the Swiss Army knife of torches or flashlights, and that is exactly what it is. It is great. It is the best torch or flashlight anywhere. It is fantastic. It is incredibly well made. It is so strong and rugged that just holding it gives you confidence that you have a really high quality, really reliable, really solid product, which you absolutely do. By the way, it is a phenomenally well made a tool, and it also looks beautiful. I mean, it looks extraordinarily handsome when you hold it in your hands, when you have it, in front of you on your desk, when you have it in your car. You just feel immediate confidence when you just look at it and when you handle it. And of course, it's a torch or a flashlight, and it has an incredible light. It covers phenomenal distances. It's actually a beautiful light also, by the way. It's really an elegant, clear, bright light, sees huge distances. You can get extraordinary definition in what you see. When you walk in dark woods and dark places, as I often do with my dogs, it's an extraordinarily wonderful light to see. And you can have it full power, as I have it at the moment, because it covers an enormous distance, or you can dim it, which still gives you a good strong light, but you're not blinding people near you or doing anything of that kind. You can even use it like this indoors. And by the way, I have my cellar, so when I'm looking for my wine downstairs in my cellar, well, there it is. It's incredibly useful for that also. If you're on the street or on the road in the dark, let's say on a country road where there's not much light around, well, you can also flash, and that immediately alerts people to your presence, which is, of course, incredibly useful, especially in an English country road. But I'm sure country roads like that are everywhere. There isn't much light, and you want people to know that you're there. So it's got another incredible thing. It is solar powered, so you don't have to worry about batteries. I'm never someone who's very good at remembering to recharge my Patriot Beacon or any torch with batteries. I don't have to with this torch because it's solar powered. All I have to do is leave it out in the light, and it's always there for me. And I find that really useful because, as I said, I'm absent-minded. You don't have to worry about that because it's always there for you. And of course, that means that it's always there for your other tools. if your smartphone or your laptop or your tablet is out of power, well, it's got a port so you can recharge them, which is incredibly useful. It's something, that if you travel as much as I used to do before the latest, lockdowns happened, well, I can tell you it's incredibly useful to have something that you can recharge things with. Also, the other thing which is incredibly useful with this torch or flashlight, if you're out in the country and you lose your way, as I sometimes do, going in the Peak District or in Dartmoor or somewhere like that, you've got there, as you can see, there's a compass in the handle, which enables you to get your bearings immediately and very quickly. And if you get separated from your partner, my wife in my case, or my dogs also in my case, well, it's the other one. It's got the alarm, which means that you can alert someone immediately to where you are. So it's incredibly useful with those accessories too. And of course, it's got a magnet there, so you can stick it on the side of your car on any metal place, or you can have a metal place in your house or your garage, and it's there immediately to hand. You can collect it very easily and very quickly. And of course, last but not least, it's got those incredibly useful elements that you need with the tool that you have in your car. So you can turn it into a hammer. It's got the metal point there, which you can use as a hammer, but you can also use it, for example, if you're in an accident, and sometimes people can be in accidents and it's not our fault, but you need to get out of your car, or you can break the windscreen with this very easily, or you can cut yourself or whoever with you in the car out of their seatbelt. You've got a seatbelt cutter there. So this is a phenomenal product. It gives you an enormous sense of security and safety when you're out with it in the dark, or when you have it with you in the car in the dark. It's something that also looks amazing. It is beautiful and strong and solid. It will never let you down. It is made by our friends at Patriotic Legacy. It is made in the United States. It ships around the world. You should definitely join this competition so that you can have one of these great torches or flashlights, as Alex calls it, or torch as I call it. So Alex will tell you again how to join this competition at the end of this program, and he'll also tell you how to go onto our shop, because we have all these great products in our shop. This is one with the coat of arms, a mug with the coat of arms of the Russian Federation on it, but we have lots of other magic mugs appearing in our shop. The best mugs in the world, bar none. I've had mine for a year and 10 months now. None broken, chipped, cracked, discolored, faded, or any of those things. They are literally absolutely as good as new. They're the best mugs to drink tea or coffee or hot chocolate from. My wife, who loves hot chocolate, she's recently got a hot chocolate making machine so that she can use it to fill up her mugs with beautiful Duran mugs with. So they're amazing mugs. And you will also find amazing shirts in our shop, like the one I'm wearing now, which is a short sleeve T-shirt with the coat of arms, the double-headed eagle of the Duran there. And we've got also long sleeve T-shirts, and we've got polo shirts, the best polo shirts anywhere, all 100% cotton. You've got V-neck shirts, hats, hoodies, and stickers too. We've also got amazing ebooks. But the best thing is, Alex is bringing out a whole new range of fabulous products, all in our shop. You can go to our shop, you can buy yourself all of these great things, and you can support the Duran also. So come to our shop, buy these great things, support the Duran, and get yourself a Patriot Beacon. So Alex will tell you how.
DuranShop.com in the description box down below, and Patriotic Legacy website in the description box down below. Alexander Mercouris, thank you very much. Until next time, everybody, take care.